Path-based education has had a long history with Manulife as far as a number of initiatives, but this is our second year with Manulife in the Boston Marathon. Last year we had 17 runners run in support of Pathways, and this year we're really proud that we've had 50 runners, both new runners and returning runners, running on behalf of Pathways in the Boston Marathon. And to date, we've got about 5 weeks left to go, but we've already raised over $50,000.
This is my second Boston Marathon. I ran it last year. My experience last year was rather unique because I was a mile from the finish line when the race was stopped, and I found out, I'd heard from other spectators that there had been bombs at the finish line where my entire family was, and so I ended up going off course, and I ended up waiting out at the Prudential building until I managed to meet up with my family again.
Last year was my first marathon, Boston. I did not finish. I made it to I think it was about 37 kilometers when the bombs went off. And didn't know anything was wrong until I got to about 39 or 40. And somebody told me the bombs went off, and of course you don't believe it. So you work your way through, and finally when you do believe it, it was surprising how quickly finishing became so unimportant. And I'll have to go back this year. I'm really looking forward to crossing that finish line and being part of the whole Boston Strong experience this year, which would be the most significant Boston marathons, probably the most significant marathon in recent history.
I got thrown into the Boston Marathon when I moved there, and then was fortunate enough in 1983 to win the race. And once that happens, you become part of sort of a select little club, and you have this very strong attachment to the race. It's almost not that we own it, but we feel like we have some kind of responsibility towards it. And it was funny, last year was my 30th anniversary for winning, and I went back and ran with two of my sons, and it was a fabulous day. We crossed the finish line, and my daughter was working for the Boston Athletic Association at the finish line all day. As we walked away and started taking pictures is when the bombs went off, and it changed everything. It was just this surreal experience that you couldn't believe it was happening. And in the days that followed, it was incredible the way the running community across, I think, the world came together to support not just Boston, but I think the sport of running, in that we're not going to let this type of irrational behavior change what we do.